Me tienes a buscar, ahora sí me vas a encontrar. Dime conmigo es lo que te digo, sola sin nadie más. Esta es la situación, no me des una explicación. No, en la baraja la reina soy yo. Pero yo he estado notando y estabas imaginando que yo bailaba para ti nada más. No, de ti yo ya no quiero nada. 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 Esto ya no es normal, si me hiciste te voy a dar. Tu medicina no es adictiva, es pecado mortal. Fuiste mi perdición, la serpiente ya me engañó. Oh, esa manzana ya la he probado yo. Yo sola con ella jugando, que yo no te estoy provocando. Y tú te estás equivocando, ya no soy tu nena muchacho. Yo sola con ella jugando, que yo no te estoy provocando. Y tú te estás equivocando, ya no soy tu nena muchacho. Pero he estado notando que estabas imaginando que yo bailaba para ti nada más. No, de ti yo ya no quiero nada. 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 La noche no todo es real. Ten cuidado con la oscuridad. Si yo bailo no es para ti nada más. No, de ti yo ya no quiero nada. 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 Yo ya no quiero nada.
Turn it up. Somebody save your soul, cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing control. You like a drug to me, a luxury, my sugar.
Hey guys, this is AIESEC International 1819 with our roll call video, and we'd like to invite all of you to dance it with us. Record it and put it in the comments below.
Oh, what a feeling. Look what we've overcome. Oh, I'm gonna wave my flag and count all the reasons we are the champions. There ain't no turning back. Saying, oh, can't you taste the feeling? Saying, oh, we all together singing. Look how far we come now. There's beauty in the unity we found. I'm ready. We still got a long way, but look how far we come now. Hands up for your colors. Ready the people, a new day has just begun, and I wear my colors on my back. Yeah. We created equal, one race and that's human. Can't wait till they all see that. Saying, oh, can't you taste the feeling? Saying, oh, we all together singing. Look how far we come now. There's beauty in the unity we found. I'm ready. We still got a long way, but look how far we come now. Hands up for your colors. One hand, two hands for your colors, yeah. Show your true colors. Here we go. Let's put on the show. Let's put on the show right now. Let me see your hands, Look how far we come now. There's beauty in the unity we found. I'm ready. We still got a long way, but look how far we come now. Hands up for your colors. There's beauty in the unity. One hand, two hands for your colors, yeah. There's beauty in the unity. Show your true colors. Here we go. Hands up for your colors. Represent your country. Raise your flag. Show your true colors.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to day 2 of YouthQuake 2021. Woo! Yes, I think our part deserves a huge round of applause for playing such high energy music. It was awesome, amazing, simply brilliant. I couldn't help it. I had to join and dance. Brilliant. Please give him a round of applause. Brilliant. So, are you ready for day 2? If you're ready, you know what to do. Type in ready on your chat box. Yeah. Type in ready on your chat box. Yes, Zoom Master Vikum also contributed. Thank you so much for that lovely session. I'm already energized. How many of you feeling the energy in the room? Are you feeling the energy in the room? If you are feeling it, just type in feel on your chat box. Feel. Yes, feel. Brilliant. Awesome. Great. So after yesterday, yesterday was amazing. We learned from each other. We get to know each other, and we set the expectation yesterday. And today we are here to become the better version of ourselves. Correct? So before I go on for the day 2, how many of you'd like to see what has happened? A recap of yesterday, day 1. How many of you like to see? If you'd like to see, type in me in your chat box. Me with a lot of E. M-E-E-E-E-E, not one E. Awesome. Wow. 3 lines. Brilliant. Okay, great. So ladies and gentlemen, so I would like to request the Zoom master to play the recap video. But how we do it is, ready? 1, 2, 3, unmute yourself and say, whoosh.
Whoosh. Whoosh.
Over to you, Zoom master.
Yo ya no quiero
I appreciate AIESEC foresight has identified the fundamental solution to prevail.
Because at the end of the day, when we are isolating society, or we are putting ourselves in
from India.
From India. So you said, can you repeat what you said?
The youth of the world have the ability, or we can come up with ideas that can change the face of the world, or have the potential to change it.
Now, why am I saying that it's an important part of your history? Is because we see a total disruption happening at the consumer end. The kinds of products that they use, the kinds of
how this gonna end? Like as of now, one day the next say that's the goal. Global population to get vaccinated. With the current vaccines that we have that address the virus. So that answer the virus and like goal. But
back home to you.
Wow, that was amazing. Amazing. So I want you to put your hand at the back like this and tap yourself and say, good job. Good job. Brilliant. Awesome. Brilliant. So because self-appreciation is a way you are able to, acknowledge yourself, because when you are influenced with something, it would be easier for you to influence others. and we are here to make change. Today's youth. So yesterday's expectation setting, what we did is we for the audience, the expectation was making networking, making friends, and making change. So we are on day two today, and then we will definitely make it happen. Okay, great. So with that, okay, we are here to make friends. Come on. Yesterday I told you, if you want to be anybody's friend, the friend able to see you. I still can see some of the cameras are still not on. Can I request all of you to on your camera? Come on, friends. You're here to make friends. Without seeing you, how can I be a friend of yours? Come on. After all, this is YouthQuake 2021. Come on, turn on your camera. Yes, Arfan, thank you very much. Come on. Let us see your lovely faces from 30 different countries. Brilliant. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, before I go on to introduce the first keynote speaker, let me just talk about a bit about the sponsors, because without the sponsor, this was not been possible. And we have our gift sponsor, Dojo Co. Our title sponsor is SDB Bank, and Articulate is our media sponsor. Please give them a round of applause for making this dream a reality, a change that is going to take place after this event. It was only possible because of their sponsorship. Thank you so much. So are you excited? Are you excited to know who the next speaker is? If you are excited, type in E on your chat box. Only E. E. Yes. Wow, the chat box is buzzing. And I have the privilege, and trust me, as I promise you, day two is gonna be, energy is gonna be totally different level. We're gonna take it off the roof, right? And this is the gentleman who's gonna set the tone for the rest of the event. So I have the privilege to introduce, he's the member of the advisory board of AIESEC Sri Lanka, and he's the managing director of Stacks, one of the leading consultancy firm, and they are all about facts and figures. When it comes to facts and figures, this is the company is always out there making people's life easier. So please give a huge round of applause and to the video, to his intro video of Ruindu Pires. So how do we do it? Whoa, whoosh.
Whoosh. Whoosh.
Over to you, Zoom Master.
Hey guys, warm welcome. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Super. Wow. Totally pumped. I'm so glad I joined in a few minutes ahead because couldn't help but get off my seat and start pumping myself. Warm welcome to everyone. Super excited to be with all of you. And then first off, I want to congratulate the whole team and all of you future leaders of the world for really taking the time and investing in terms of really connecting globally and also kind of looking at how you can be better than or be bigger than yourself, right? And I think I've had the honor and the privilege of working with the AIESEC team over the last few years, and I've been nothing but super impressed, not only with the work and the impact that you've had in everything that you do, but I think also in terms of the vision and just the level of thinking that I've had the opportunity to kind of engage with a lot of the leaders. And that's just a sample. can't look forward to working with more of you. So with that, I know time's limited and you guys have a whole fun-packed agenda. So let me get started. Let me see if I can get the technology working here. Let me know if you start seeing this. And see if I can get the, let's see, chat session open.
Can see it.
Super,
Yes.
everyone can see? Got it.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. So I'm sure this is probably one of the most overused terms these days, especially with the pandemic going on. But really, you know, the new normal. And if it looks a bit blurred, don't worry, you don't have to adjust your glasses or tap on the screen. It's meant to be blurred. And that's because I think what this new normal means is really kind of unclear right now for a lot of us. And the good news is that it's up to us to make it clear. And all of us are living, I know it sounds really almost paradoxical to be saying this, while all of us are going through tremendous upheaval and a lot of hardship. And I don't want to be insensitive by any means. I know people very close to me at heart have suffered and are going through a lot of pain at this moment. That being said, the stats and the numbers, if you really dig into it, will tell you we are truly living in one of the best times in known history. And it's such a blessing for all of us. And I know, again, this is hard to absorb at this time, but trust me when I say this, despite everything that's going on right now, this is yet one of the best times of humanity. And all of us are truly blessed to be alive at this moment in time. So I want all of you to kind of take that with you. So to get started, if I can get this working, let's see. Let's just kind of ease up a bit. And I want to kind of do a quick quiz. How many of you online can see a frog in the image put up? If you see a frog, say yes and put up on the chat session. Super. Okay, quite a few yeses. Now I want, if anyone can see anything else other than a frog, I don't want you to say what it is. If you can see anything other than a frog, type in other. Okay, few people. If anyone can't see anything other than a frog, say me. Okay, got it. Interesting. So I'm going to do a bit of a shift here. Now I want everyone to come and tell me if you can see a horse, say yes. All right, got it. Anyone who can't see a horse, say me. Okay, so far none. So it seems like everyone can see the horse, right? And I don't know if all of you caught to this, but in reality, those of you who didn't see the horse earlier, it's the same image, right? It's the same image, just flipped vertically to its left. That's all it is. And really, I want us to leave with that as you go into the next session, is that this is true with a lot of things in life that we go through right now. It really requires all of us to take a different perspective. The same thing in front of us, and we got an amazing team on deck with us right now from multiple countries, if I understood correctly, 30 odd countries. All of us come from different backgrounds, different specializations, and a different view of the world, right? And it's going to require all of us to look at the same problems, same opportunities in different angles. And it's in that difference that we're truly going to be able to take advantage of what's ahead of us. So with that, I'm going to kind of jump into a very quick intro video, which I think sets up the session really well. So let's do a quick listen.
We're living during an incredible day and age. I believe, without any question at all,
everyone can hear?
The grand challenges of our time will be solved.
As humans, we run on hope. If you don't
believe that the world is going to get better, there's no way you're going to work to change it.
Stephen Kotler and I just wrote a book called Abundance. It's the realization that, in fact, the world is getting better at an accelerating rate.
What we're really talking about is meeting the basic needs of every man, woman, and child on the planet over the next 2 to 3 decades.
A dozen or so exponentially growing technologies are really transforming the world. AI, robotics, computers, network system, biotechnology, synthetic biology, human-machine interface, medicine.
Abundance talks about 4 emerging forces. The so-called bottom billion, the poorest people in the world, are for the very first time emerging as a real market force. We also have a new techno-philanthropic class, entirely new creative philanthropists.
Empowered by exponential technologies, by this DIY ethic, this do-it-yourself ethic. You know, the day before something is truly a breakthrough, it's a crazy idea. And thus we're living into a world of energy, water, education, health, abundance.
This is not about luxury. This is not everybody gets to be rich. It's going to be a tremendous uphill battle.
A great example of abundance in action is what's happened with mobile communications. And what we're seeing is this explosion in connectedness around the world. By the end of 2020, we are going to have over 5 billion people connected on the internet.
3-4 billion people who are suddenly joining the global conversation for the very first time. That's a big deal.
Every generation has thought they're the last generation that got the biggest problems, but each time we meet them.
If the world isn't working together trying to raise basic standards of living, we're wasting our time. The conversation has been pretty doom and gloom for a long time. We want to change the conversation.
The tools have become democratized. Small teams can solve the world's biggest problems, and you can be part of that. You have the brilliant idea. It's a matter of whether you have faith in it yourself to take it to the full conclusion.
Excellent. So I don't know if many of you caught that, but this video, it actually makes a reference of by 2020, the number of mobile phones in the world, I figured the number is going to be some big number, which suggests that this video is actually pretty old. It's at least about 5-7 years old. The book Abundance that they refer to is actually written way back in about 2012, right? And I urge every one of you, if you haven't already, and hopefully most of you already are familiar with some of this stuff, you do follow Singularity, right? It's an amazing site. I'll put it up later on the chat. It really talks about this convergence and convergence of different technologies that are emerging around us and how to take advantage and to really kind of expose ourselves into what's happening, as they refer to it, at an exponential level. And the next few minutes, I'm going to go into a few concepts of really what does exponential mean, because I think for all of us living through this moment, there's nothing more important than truly understanding this concept of exponential, right? And before I get into that, I do want to kind of elaborate one point that they brought up, this notion of abundance, right? So for those of you, and I'm sure there's multiple of you on the call today who are in the finance field or working in economics or have studied economics, and one of the base principles of how economics works is you have a belief and there is a fundamental truth of scarcity. And that's what we've all learned and grown up with, that resources are scarce, right? Seems basic for all of you who've gone through economics and finance, right? But the argument that they put forward in reality is that, in fact, that's a false premise, that there isn't scarcity, that in fact, there is abundance. What has happened though, is up to now, we haven't had access to that abundance. So as a result, in the absence of access, what is actually abundance seems scarce, is really what has happened. And now, because of this exponential rise of different technologies that are providing access to this, all of a sudden, many things are becoming abundant to us. And that truly is the biggest opportunity. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, what is this image out there as he's talking about all this stuff? Any quick poll on what do you think we're seeing here? What do you think the image is? What does it look like?
Stagnant water.
Sorry?
Stagnant water.
Stagnant water, yes, okay. It's actually sewage. That's right. In fact, it's dirty sewage water, right? And what an image to have of. And the reason I bring this up is that one of the biggest issues that we're going to face ahead coming up is water. We're not speaking enough about this right now, but you are going to have this big problem. And some countries, more so than others, are really experiencing this right now. How many of you from Singapore on the call? Is there anyone from Singapore on this call? Maybe put a chat session saying me. Okay, unfortunately, no, it doesn't seem like we have anyone from Singapore. So if you have been to Singapore, and I'm sure most of you during better times have, there's a high chance that you would have run into some of these products. And this product, New Water, in fact, is how they're purifying sewage water into drinking water. Singapore, as most of you probably know already, is one of the biggest issues that they have of scarcity, and how they grew up was water. They used to spend huge amounts of money in terms of importing water from Malaysia, because as the country developed at a very rapid pace, they couldn't keep up with the water resources that they required. And this is a classic example of how technology and developments in that has really come to forefront. And in fact, the technology to be able to do this has been in existence for a long time. A lot of the problem, as you go into the case study, you'll find was in fact in the mindset of people. It wasn't really the technology. I mean, they've proven with a lot of doubt, without a doubt, that the quality of the water is good. It was more to do with the mindset. So I just want to give you all a classic example. There's multiple examples of exponential at work, but I thought this is a very impactful one to kind of keep at the front of it. So let's kind of get into a bit more of another quick exercise to understand, right? So here's a hypothetical. You've got a very critical requirement. It's a 1-month engagement. As you guys hopefully know, some of you, we have the opportunity to work for some of the brightest companies in the world, take very gnarly, complex, big problems. So this is a big ass problem, right? And we're going to pay big ass money for this. So you got a choice. I'm going to select from all of you guys, one of the smartest to come and help me with this problem. But you get a choice of how I'm going to compensate you. It's a 1-month engagement. Option 1, I'm going to pay you 1 cent on day 1, and I'm going to double it for every next day. Okay? Option 2, I'm going to pay you $200,000 a day. Those are the 2 options, right? Start typing in, which option do you choose? Okay, quite a few ones, few twos. Of course was one answer, yeah, okay. Interesting. 1s, 2s, okay. However, it's a trick question. You forgot to ask a very important clarifying question. So what if I say that you missed to ask me a question before answering that? And I give you another chance. What should be the question? What question would you ask me before choosing this answer? Quick poll. You get 1 question to ask me, what is that question? And then you choose. Fundamentally will differ the choice that you make. How long do you get paid? Time period? I said a month. It's a 1 month. Okay. The question that you should have asked is which month it was. And I'll tell you why. Here's the answer. If you do the math, and all of you, I presume, can do the calculation in your head of 200,000 times 30 or 31, right? It's either 6 million or 6.2 million. Off the top of your head, absolutely can do that math. If you run the exponential number, what exponential means is what I have up here on the graph. You start with 1 cent and you double it every day. It's pretty slow, right? But do you see the difference between the 30th and the 31st day? So if the month was a 30-day month, you should have chosen option 2, because actually you made 6 million versus a 5.3 million. However, if it was the 31st day that existed in that month, all of a sudden you made 10.7 million. Life-changing decision, right? Now, this is unfortunately hypothetical. I wish I could afford to give you this. The good news is that none of you got the answer right, so I don't have to be committed to pay you on this. But hopefully that starts making this a bit clearer in your mind, right? And don't feel bad. This is something that I think all of us, and I bring this up as an example because The biggest challenge, I believe, that all of us living in this period and age have to grapple with is how to come to terms with this. We as a species have not evolved to think exponentially. We just haven't. We are at the cusp of that. We are just at the learning point of that. 100 years from now, probably this will be irrelevant. I think our biology, our thinking would have adapted very well in terms of being able to do exponential math. We haven't done that yet. So what, as a result, because we all operate in a linear thinking scale, 200,000 times 30 times 31 times 50, 200,000 times even a million, you could do that math, linear math. We know how to do it. Exponential is not something that we have understood. And when you put it on a graph, this is what it looks like. And if you go back to the numbers as well, you'd see actually one of the biggest problems is that in the first few days, in the first period of exponential, it underperforms linear. So it's called the deceptive disappointment. During that period, the naysayers said, it doesn't work. It's not working. It's not going to give the results. See, so those who chose the 200,000 are going to be laughing their butt off, going out, drinking the money, buying their new retail stuff and laughing at everyone who chose the 1 cent if it happened to be a 31st day month, right? But all of a sudden, things start taking off. So it's really important to understand this concept because this truly differentiates in terms of how we're going to grapple with the opportunities ahead of us. And I think this was famously put down by Bill Gates, right? And multiple other people have said this, but the human condition, and particularly with technology, we somehow have this heightened expectation. So we overestimate and have a very heightened expectation of what technology will give us in the short term. So, there is an immediate euphoria, but then you expect a lot of things to happen in the first 2 years. But we almost consistently underestimate how technology will transform and change the world over a long period of time, right? And this is something I want to urge all of you to kind of keep in mind and really put to practice as you're looking at opportunities, tackling problems, framing problems, looking at alternate solutions. Really take a hard look at some of these concepts. I'm going to quickly go through also just to put in context the day and age that we live right now, right? So if you think about over a time period, right, we kind of started off technological involvement happened going back probably 350 years ago. One of the best inventions technologically that humanity did as a species is we finally figured out, you don't have to keep walking around. You could actually take control of agriculture, plant something in the soil, put water to it, and you didn't have to move around, right? And that was kind of the start of really humanity. Evolving and growing exponentially. And going back to that time, the differentiator of success in the agricultural age was land. So if you had land, if you owned land, you made a lot of money. You were the success, right? You were able to kind of disproportionately grow assets and do well. You move forward, industrial age comes along, and at that time, it was the age of the machine, right? There was a critical component. If those who hadn't converted land into free capital, and if they weren't able to truly have free capital to be able to put it in terms of automating things, making things, putting up factories, getting access to steam, they weren't able to participate effectively in the industrial age. So you see some of the large land baron owners who didn't convert, didn't take on, really kind of went away, and there was a new money coming, if you like. So new leadership, industrial age really kind of brought about a newness of people who were able to kind of take on to that. You move forward, information age, right? The age of the knowledge worker, computers came in. It probably started over the, it's over the last 20, 30 years that really this, and it seems like it's much longer, but in reality, I'm dating myself here. I guess when I went back to college in 1994, I didn't own a computer in Sri Lanka, right? It was a luxury to have a computer even when I went to Canada to study. So it's a very short window, relatively speaking, that all of this has happened, right? Now, the differentiator for that is access to digital. Now, thankfully, I think a large population of people have increasingly got access, but there are still quite a few people who do not have access to digital. And it's appalling. The difference that's happening, the disparity between those who have and don't have is at an alarming rate increasing, right? But the problem is not this. We've actually in many ways surpassed the information age, and we've gone beyond this, right? The age that we're in right now, right? So I'm going to ask you guys, who has the answer? What age do you believe we are in right now, when we've gone beyond the information age? Any guesses on the age that we're in right now? Digital, one answer. No, not digital. Information age is what I'm saying that we're in. Well, we've passed the information age. Skill age, okay, I'll go to it. So the term that they're saying that we live in right now is actually the age of imagination. In many ways, for large population, access to digital has actually become democratized. In many ways, think about it, right? Could you imagine all of us doing this? I mean, if AIESEC was to put this kind of conference together, forget about 5 years ago, even last year, when we thought the normal was to meet in person, it would have been multiple people flying, huge expenses in hotel rooms, people dressing up. The fact that I'm wearing shorts below, none of you guys see, right? You would have had to dress up, I probably had to come in a suit, do all this stuff, right? We've taken all that away just because of the fact that technology has enabled us to be able to interact. And it's really becoming the power of imagination. If you can imagine it, you can make it happen. And we're at the start of that. It'll only get more and more, right? If you remember the concept of exponential, things are going to take off in an unparalleled way, an unimaginable way. So there is one differentiator. I want to leave you with this. To succeed, like land was a differentiator in agriculture, like capital was a differentiator in the industrial age, like access to digital was the differentiator in the information age. I'm going to ask a quick question. What do you think is the differentiator or the skill that is so important in this age of imagination? Any answers? Creativity? Close? All right. Imagine, yeah. The ability to imagine. What gives you the ability to imagine? It's mindset. It truly is this, right? And there's a big difference between this last differentiator and all the other three. The mindset, it's not an external thing. It's an inside job, right? So conveniently, we could have blamed our ancestors, your fathers, your mothers, your grandparents, and saying, I wasn't born into the right family. I didn't have enough money. I was born in the wrong country. Multiple other people to blame in any of the other three ages, right? We're in an age right now where it's only you. And that's a great opportunity, but also I want to remind yourself, it's a great threat. You can't buy this. The rest of it you could actually buy. You cannot buy mindset. It's an inside job. It starts and ends with you. So it's very, very important that all of you guys, as you kind of go on to the rest of the session and really think about what big problems you're going to take on, what movements in the world that you are going to be architecting. You live in this imagination age and it all starts and ends with you. It ends with your mindset, right? And I'm going to leave you with this. The common denominator that differentiates all of us, right, is what we choose to do with the time given to us. None of us, the richest person, whether it be Elon Musk, I don't know, whatever, it keeps changing on a weekly basis, whoever it is, the richest person in the world today, to the poorest person, to the most powerful person, every single one gets 24 hours in the day, not a second, not a millisecond more or less. All that matters is what you choose to do in those 24 hours and the mindset that you approach those 24 hours with. So with that, I wish you all but nothing but the best, and really grasp all the opportunities at your hand and go change the world. Make it be what you want it to be. Thank you very much for this session, and wish you all the best.
Amazing, outstanding, magnificent, brilliant. That's what I have to say with the keynote. I thought it was out of this world. I really learned a lot, and I've taken a snapshot of the screens which appeared. Rindu, can we see you? Rindu, can we see you? Rindu, thank you so much. Really appreciate your contribution, and your and it has totally shifted, I'm sure, everybody's mindset over here, and you really helped us to become a better version of ourselves. Don't you think he deserves a huge round of applause? Please give a huge round of applause. Thank you, Rindu. Really, really appreciate spending time with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you learn something out of that whole session, type in L, a capital L, L on your chat box.
Super.
Not one L, L. Wow, Rindu, that's a direct feedback for you. I really appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So friends, as I promised to you, today, at the end of the day, you will become a better version of yourself. By listening to this one keynote, how do you feel? Have you learned something new? Have you become a better version of yourself? Because as Ruindu said, it's all about mindset. Can we do it? Just do it with me. Look at me. Do it like this. Put both your hands here and say, it's all about mindset. It's all about mindset. Well, that's what going to make the change, right? And of course, put your hand on your heart. Okay, if you still cannot find where your heart is, it's still here. See here, okay? And repeat after me. Dare to make a change. I dare to make a change. I dare to make a change. Brilliant, great. So we have been sitting for a while, right? So now you saw at the beginning what we are doing is that we were dancing and movement. So because when you do the movement, your energy goes up, right? How many of you agree with me? If you agree with me, raise your hand. If you agree with me, okay, great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stand up. Shall we stand up? Right? Shall we stand up? And what I'm so okay. I'm still yet to see some of you to on your camera. If you want to be friends, on your camera. I want to see my friend, how he or she looks like. Okay. So now raise your hand like this, and then turn to the right and do a stretch and make a noise. Louder, the noise. Okay, turn to the go to the back, like, oh yes, and at the front, oh yes, great, brilliant. Give yourself a round of applause. Brilliant. Great. So I just got the news from the organizer. The next keynote speaker is with us in this very Zoom room. How many of you are excited to listen to the next speaker? If you're excited, type in E on your chat box. Or type in I am excited. I am excited. Because for sure, I am excited to introduce this lovely lady. And she is, and as I told you, as I promised to you, my promise to the organizer, our promise to you is that by the time you finish this session, you will become a better version of yourself. I'm sure in her keynote, what she's going to share, this will definitely help us to become a better version of ourselves, right? So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite. Now she works for a multinational company, and which is a multi-billion-dollar company, and she is the HR director for Unilever Sri Lanka. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause and a whoosh, okay, to Ananya Sabharwal. Ananya Sabharwal, here we go. Whoa, whoosh.
Wow, that was amazing. I feel like I got a lot of energy coming my way. Can you guys hear me fine?
Yes.
Great. Yes. Thank you so much, Shuvo, for that wonderful introduction, and so lovely to see bright young faces on the screen. Very good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I hear you are joining from different parts of the world. So really, really happy to be speaking to you today. So I hope that you all had 2 great days filled with the very enriching learning experience. Not to forget, I hear you've also done some networking and virtually met some friends from across the world. I've been asked to talk to you about the Unilever experience in facing and recovering from this pandemic. So let me start by saying that, COVID has been quite the paradox. On one hand, life slowed down. It was stricter, more standardized routines, less travel, constrained mobility, with far fewer activities outside of home. And on the other hand, it has become so fast paced with an ever evolving nature of this world and the need to be agile on our day to day working lives, supported by technologies like Zoom. I feel like there is this always on culture that has come with the pandemic. So while it feels slow on one hand, it feels really fast paced on the other. So somehow this has created a sensation of days blurring into one another, and time often feels, both fast and slow. I wonder if this resonates with you. Tell me in the chat box if you feel time has slowed down, time has become fast, or a mix of both. So I feel like it's a mix of both fast and slow. So tell me in the chat box so I know where you're at and how you're perceiving time. Fast, slow, mixed. Mix, fast, mix. All right, mix of both. Yeah. Blur, fast. Absolutely. Great. So do reflect on that. And with that, let me start talking about what I was invited to talk about, which is Unilever's response and a business's response to COVID and the pandemic. So if I were to reflect on all that we as a company have done in the past year or so of being in this pandemic, I could possibly divide it into 3 buckets or 3 pillars. The first one is been all about protecting and future proofing our business as Unilever and the brands and the money we make. The second has been about protecting the lives and livelihoods of our people. And the third has been about building human and future fit leaders. So that's how I would kind of describe how we've responded. And that's what I largely want to speak to you about today. So let's dive deep into the first one, which is protecting and future proofing our business. So as we know, COVID is far from over. Indeed, in parts of the world, the pandemic is going to get worse before it gets better. And as Unilever, we are doing all that we can to protect our business growth and margins so that we can in turn protect our people while also contributing to the world in eradicating this horrible pandemic. So COVID has had a mixed impact on the FMCG industry, the fast moving consumer goods industry, which is what Unilever is a part of. Economies around the world, including Sri Lanka, have been badly impacted with the contracting GDPs. I'm sure I hear you've had a session on just the impact on economy. So I'm sure you've heard the impact on GDPs, reduction in consumption, and of course, increase in unemployment. And these economic indicators have had a direct impact on our growth as a business as well, whilst we manage some significant headwinds on our business. For example, commodity inflation, things, materials that we buy have gotten expensive. Currencies are moving in a very volatile manner. And of course, the ongoing costs of managing how we deal with the pandemic and how we support our employees in this pandemic. So all of this has led to a big impact on us. Now, our purpose at Unilever is to make sustainable living commonplace. So some of you who know Unilever would have heard this before, and Unilever Sri Lanka has been very deeply rooted in the country for the past 82 years. And I'll definitely give a prize for someone guessing how many lives we touch on a daily basis in Sri Lanka. So if you could just put in the chat box, how many lives do we touch every day in Sri Lanka? Take a wild guess. 10 million, 3 million. Let's have some more answers. I'm sure people are Googling. Billions, 5 million. 21 million. Oh, somebody got it exactly right. The answer is 21 million Sri Lankans on a daily basis are touched by Unilever and our products. And so, being one of the largest FMCGs in the world and in Sri Lanka, our intention is to contribute to the economies of the nations in which we operate using our scale. And our reach is quite wide. Just in Sri Lanka alone, like I said, we touch 21 million consumers. We partner with 100,000 retail outlets across the island. And 100%, we are an almost 100% local manufacturing entity, which also means that we reach a wide variety of local suppliers. And so all of this gives us a huge responsibility over our wider ecosystem. And because if our retailers and distributors do not flourish, we do not flourish. And if our suppliers do not win, we do not win. And this means if we are to protect our business, which was the first pillar, if you remember, we must first protect our ecosystem of consumers, of suppliers, of business partners that we operate with. So this is exactly what we did in COVID when Sri Lanka faced a nationwide curfew. All shops were shut down. Consumers had no access to essentials. Many of you have been through this. And during the national crisis, we were quick to spring into action by being one of the first few organizations in the country to obtain curfew passes, to continue serving the nation during the lockdown, and most importantly, protecting our own liquidity, in other words, cash flow. So we as Unilever tried to use our scale for good by extending additional credit to our trade partners in order to protect them from a disproportionate impact of the pandemic. We also made some very speedy and decisive calls in a matter of days to kind of partner the business on innovative and critical launches, brand and product launches that enabled us to service the nation during this need of the hour. So we launched Lifebuoy sanitizers within an 18-day network. So this is probably a record for us at Unilever. Within 18 days, we decided we're going to launch sanitizers. We also landed some very cool innovations in some of our home care brands, such as Vim and Surf. And we really doubled down on e-commerce and relaunched something called the U Store, which was delivering products to consumers' homes within just 2 days. So all of this, when you hear me talk, our fundamental belief at Unilever is that brands which have a purpose last. And so, some of the jewels that we have in Sri Lanka, like Signal, it's not just a toothpaste brand, but a brand that has made 2 million Sri Lankans smile. Lifebuoy is not just a soap, but a brand that works every day to improve hand hygiene. So, we're always in the process of finding a way to marry our brand purpose and marrying that with trends that we are seeing, that we're anticipating, and then acting on those trends as this world transforms. So some of the trends that I think might be interesting for you that are not just limited to Unilever, but all of us as consumers is, for example, the first one that I can share is everything. So life during COVID is increasingly lived online, and consumers are spending more and more time online, connecting, communicating, working, shopping, informing, educating, and entertaining themselves. I'm sure all of you are watching a lot of Netflix. So everything is a very big trend that we as Unilever are kind of working on during this pandemic. The next big trend that you might resonate with is of stocking and value seeking. So, of course, there's been a lot of hoarding when initially the pandemic struck, but now consumers are increasingly moving to a more value-based volume shopping. So, low unit price packs are actually more likely to grow as recession hits us. The next big trend, which I'm sure all of you will resonate with, is clean living. Clean has become almost like a cult in the coronavirus era, as consumers almost seem to have a fetish for cleaning, cleansing, clean living. How many of you have started cleaning your own houses more than you ever did before? Tell me in the chat box something about your cleaning habits. Everybody's saying me. I already am a big passionista for cleaning, and my husband is not happy with what the pandemic has brought in me. I clean a lot more. I can see some comments saying they clean their room today. I'm sure parents are happy with all the extra cleaning that you all are doing. My hands started to become whiter. Yes, that does happen with excess use of. So I see some of questions which I think we can take later, but let me just quickly continue. So consumers are not just seeking solutions for cleaning, sanitizing, and sterilizing, but also looking for clean living in terms of immunity boosting for their own bodies and minds. And hence, while the fear of infection may die down, the hygiene awareness and the immunity and health awareness is likely to stay. And of course, there are many other insights like cocooning, which means, how we're all spending much more time at home, and how a large part of our life experience is now at home. And that's a big insight for businesses to work on. Another big insight is the contactless culture, where more of us are now wanting to do transactions which have less human contact and therefore are safer. So that's a bit on the first piece on how we've kept our business future proof and how we've kind of anticipated some of these trends and trying to work on them. The second pillar, like I said, was about protecting lives, livelihoods, and well-being. So business continuity and business growth is one thing, but alongside, our big focus has been to protect lives and livelihoods. And right at the start of the pandemic, we protected all our employees' salaries. And unfortunately, while many organizations did have to make the tough call of reduced salaries, we somehow managed to keep our salaries the same whilst we cut back from other places on our P&L statement. We also implemented very high safety protocols. We are actually world known for safety, and this is something that makes me really proud about working at Unilever. Our safety protocols are absolute of a world class nature for our frontliners who are working in factories and in sales and on the field. Including additional incentives for our frontliners to show our gratitude and utmost care for their safety, health, and well-being, and for them going out of their way to help us continue operations and serve consumers during this time. And as for our office-based employees, 100% of us across the world seamlessly transitioned to working from home since the beginning of the pandemic. So thanks to the remote working policies we already had in place, we quickly made this shift and it was quite seamless for us. Literally overnight, all of us started working from home. And of course, we did a lot to enable a comfortable work from home experience. We delivered ergonomic chairs, and we have a lot of support in place for people to be able to work comfortably while at their in their homes. We are also committing in Unilever Sri Lanka we're in the process of training 100% of our employees to become mental health champions, because we understand working from home and this pandemic comes with a lot of stress and increased anxiety, reduced human connection. And so we have planned a lot of meaningful connects with our people to enhance that virtual social intimacy. So in case you guys haven't done that already, do read up on mental health. It is absolutely crucial. It is a life skill in today's world to understand the basics of mental health so that we can help our friends, family, people that we work with. We've also put in place a lot of support for COVID, both in terms of medical infrastructure and support, and also policies around well-being and all the support that we're providing, including a 24/7 confidential employee assistance helpline for anybody who wants to call and get any counseling support, especially in this context of COVID. So the pandemic has not stopped us from reinvesting in our people, in lives, in well-being, and livelihoods. So that was the second piece that I wanted to talk to you about today. The third and the last pillar that I want to mention as part of our Unilever response to the pandemic is about building future fit human leaders. And this is one that I feel super passionate about. Now, there is enough research to show in the past 1 year from big names like McKinsey, Harvard, and the likes, which re-emphasize the critical role that leaders play in a crisis like this. Not only do they help businesses stay alive and grow through innovation and agility, like I described in the first pillar, but they also help their teams remain engaged and energized and resilient to overcome what we are calling pandemic fatigue, which we all are experiencing. So, I really want you all as young leaders to listen to this very carefully, because the playbook for future fit leaders is definitely no longer about power and authority and knowing it all. It is about human leadership. And what does human leadership mean? I'll share with you what it means to me. To me, human leadership is about three things. The first one is about making your purpose a living reality. The second thing that defines human leadership for me is about showing empathy and inclusion and vulnerability, being able to show your true self authentically to those around you. And the third one, the third thing that makes human leaders is a bias for self awareness and self transformation, because the world is changing so fast that if we're not aware and reflecting on who we are and what we're becoming, we will never be able to catch up. So those are the three things, and that's my kind of model for what a human leader is. And at Unilever, we've done a lot for this. We do a lot around leadership development. We're known to be a leadership factory, and a large chunk of the world's CXOs, CEOs, CFOs come from Unilever. I won't get into those efforts, but I thought maybe I'll end by taking a moment to talk about the importance of purpose. And in this context of human leadership, future fit leadership, what purpose means. I truly believe that purpose is going to be truly essential in this moment for us as individuals, for the well-being of our families, and for the well-being of the organizations that we are a part of to thrive. So whether it's AIESEC or a company that I work for like Unilever, it's very important that I am aware of my purpose. And at all times, but even more so in times of change, people yearn for purpose and meaning, and experience a heightened need to contribute. And this comes from really understanding how the work that I do contributes to a larger purpose. So like I said, at Unilever, we're very passionate about helping each employee discover their own unique superpower or purpose. And at Unilever Sri Lanka, we currently have about 98% of all our employees who have been to what we call a Discover Your Purpose workshop. And they often give us the feedback that this has been the most useful learning experience of their lives. So as I end, let me share with you my purpose. My purpose is to maximize lives through truth-seeking journeys. And this has, of course, come to me after years of self-excavation and self-reflection. And I truly believe this is this understanding of myself is what helps me get through tough times. I could talk about this for a long time, but in short, what my purpose means, maximizing lives through truth-seeking journeys, is that I get a high, or what gives me a big high is helping myself and others to live life to the fullest by meeting our unique adventurous truths. These truths are nothing but realizations, our inner realizations that help us grow into the best version of ourselves. So I truly believe each of us has a set of realizations to meet as we grow through life. And as we meet them, we grow and evolve into the best version of ourselves. So I get to live my purpose quite extensively in my current job as the person leading HR for an organization like Unilever. And I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to speak to you all today, such an inspiring bunch of young leaders. With this, I end, and I make a wish for all of you to leverage this pandemic as an opportunity rather than a challenge by discovering your own unique truth, your own unique superpower, and your own unique gift to the world. Thank you so much.
Wow. I am blown away. Brilliant, Aranya. I mean, this is so. I feel like you are a gift to this world. That's how I feel after listening to you. And I believe all of you will agree with that. If you agree with me, type in me on your chat box. It was, behind all the numbers, facts, and figures, right? Unilever, of course, is a multinational company, and then of course they have to look at their numbers. But the way you presented it, I'm feeling so inspired right now. I could really see You are living your purpose among all of us. I think that deserves a huge round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, please give her a huge round of applause. Thank you so much for spending time with us and giving us the positive energy that we require to become a better version of ourselves. And I simply love the three objective what you mentioned: purposeful living, find your reality, show your true self, and how to show it is by self-awareness and self-reflection. That was mind-blowing. Friends, question to you. So far in this event, did we deliver what we said? Again, I know I'm repeating myself. Repetition is mother of success. I don't know who the father is, don't ask me, right? So just by listening to Ananya, how many of you think that you got a lot of value? If you put one of the things, just take the purpose part of it and put it in your life. Do you think you will become a better version of yourself? If you think it will be, type in I on your chat box. Type in I on your chat box. So there you go, Radia. So that you have touched our life by sharing this valuable information. Now we have the knowledge, and we are here to learn from each other. So what we have to do is, because knowledge is not power, knowledge is potential power. So potential power, what we have to do is we require to put it in action through our thoughts and emotion. And then we will see the biggest difference. Thank you so much, Anya, for spending time with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. I know there were a few questions on the chat box, but somebody can reach out to my team and we'll be very happy to answer these questions.
Sure. Do we have time for Q&A? Yes.
I got to run to another meeting in a couple of minutes, but I'm happy to take a question or two if there is time. Otherwise, I can put a contact in the chat box and we can.
Probably we can address one. You can go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. The floor is yours.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, thank you very much.
There is there are 2 questions in the chat box itself.
Okay, read out one, please. I cannot see.
Okay. Yeah. So it's from Aryan Sahu. It's suppose Unilever didn't exist until the start of COVID. How would the company manage to come into existence and make a change and establish and be established as an organization? The second is the leadership program that she mentioned available for the public as well?
Great questions. So let me quickly answer those two. So very, very clever question, the first one. I don't know how we would have managed if we weren't in existence, because obviously we have a big network that we could leverage as the pandemic hit us. Having said that, there are a ton of startups that I'm sure all of you have read about, know about, who have used this pandemic as an opportunity to come into existence. So people who have started vaccine manufacturing, people who have started ventilators, people who have started all kinds of new innovations in terms of cleaning that did not exist before. There are startups that are now actually competing with Unilever in many of the categories in which we operate. And these came up overnight. People who made masks, think about companies who started making masks. It's a big business now. They came into existence overnight. So I think it's all about coming into existence in a time like this. It's all about innovation, and it's about agility, and it's about listening to what consumers and the world is asking for. So hope that answers the first question. And the second question is the leadership program available for the public as well? Unfortunately not, but we do a lot for the youth. We have an annual youth forum, so I encourage everybody to apply to that, because we run a lot of leadership development for youth in that forum. And of course, we also have a Sparks program that students can be a part of and learn more on an ongoing basis from Unilever. So those are the 2 leads that I would give you. So with that, it was really lovely engaging with you. Thanks for those 2 questions. And I wish you a great rest of the day. And I hear you're making some kind of report to share with the government and the UN. I wish you all the best for that. And thank you so much for having me.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ananya. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Dov, for sponsoring that. Okay, great. I simply love Dov. How many of you like the advertisements of Dov? They're so nice, right? They're very creative, especially Dov for Men. I simply love there is one advertisement. Okay, great. Before we move on, let's do that exercise one more time. Put your hand in between your head and say, it's all about mindset change. It's all about mindset change. I can see some of you are not doing it. I would request you to do it. Okay, it's all about mindset change. Put your hand here and say, dare to make a change. I dare to make a change. I dare to make a change. Great. So with that, how many of you are excited or looking forward to find out the facts, what we have learned yesterday and today? Yes, we are that efficient. We are able to accumulate all the information and present it to you. So would you like to know some of the findings? Yeah? If you'd like to know, type in the chat box, give it to me. Give it to me. Yes. Say it. Give it to me. Brilliant. So actually, it's not me who's going to give. I have two very capable, lovely ladies who's gonna present this to you, and this session is gonna happen in the main room itself. So, so let me invite Dilushani Douglas and Sapna Pandita to conduct the session. Over to you, ladies.
Yeah. So thank you, Sho. So we have Sapna and I will be taking over this session. So you all were here these 2 days, and I'm and Sapna, you also here, right? So during this session, we gathered a lot of insights and of course the knowledge as well. So according to you, let's refresh ourselves. So according to you, what do you think? What would be the concept behind this program? Yes, Sapna. Can you hear me?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, now you are.
There's a little connection issue. Am I audible? Yeah, okay. Yes, so your question was what was the concept behind this, right? So let me brief it like this. Today, as a world, like all of us as a world is facing a crisis like no other, right? I mean, I think like this is the most crucial and the most challenging it has ever been after the Second World War. I mean, like countries are battling COVID-19 pandemic in one way or the other. And AIESEC, as always, we believe in youth. We place our confidence in youth. And I think that is why YouthQuake 2021 is here today. So talking about the concept behind this, we actually wanted to create a platform for youth to facilitate discussions for them to get an understanding about what is actually going around the world in the COVID-19 pandemic situation. And which is like most importantly, we wanted them to be aware of actual facts other than the facts that are other than being manipulated or maybe not getting influenced with biased media opinions or maybe media content that we always see in social media. And at the same time, which is one of the most important things, we wanted to bring the world together and create this cross-cultural understanding, and especially to give them the chance to accept this ethnic diversity, which is very beautiful, right? at the same time, we wanted to make this global togetherness in Global Global Youth Forum, YouthQuake 2021,
Okay,
right?
so I'm totally agreeing with what you said, Sapna. So adding to what you said, so like the youth nowadays is very much keen on learning, and they are very much interested in the world issues, and they are very much interested in getting update about what's happening around the world. So and at the same time, they already have this opportunity to connect with other like the youth from like locally and overseas as well. So there are like the technological and other opportunities available. So we want to make this platform like this is we want to make this platform sort of an encouragement for the media to provide unbiased and reliable information as well. So with this, so since the youth is already aware of what's happening around, so it's their responsibility as well to deliver something that is reliable and to be much more responsible in their delivery. And if we take the industry, so like the context of the industry has been like the business has changed drastically. So it's like something that we have never experienced before. So it's a totally different context. So in this sense, whenever they are making decisions, it's just 13 or like 15 months of GCPs that they can get, the insights that they can collect to make their decisions. But like having a forum like this, a platform like this, so imagine like that is, if we consider it as one country, but if we take all these 30 plus countries together, that is lots of GCPs of 13 to 50 months back. So that is a pool of insights that the industry can use for their decision making. And on the other hand, like we also like, since we are gathering a lot of insights here, so it will be like a pool of insights, and we will be definitely connect these insights with the responsible parties and support them with their decision making as well. Yeah.
Yes, and also like to add on to it, I think like this is very timely. I mean, YouthQuake 2021 is quite unique and special, and it stands out from the rest of the forums and conferences that we normally hold because of the way that we deliver, right? What do you think?
Yes, exactly. So we saw there are a lot of networking spaces as well as interactive
Yes.
spaces. And in all of these, so we saw there are like different discussion driven and there were like knowledge sharing spaces as well. And especially the quizzes where we pass down the knowledge. So likewise, and like another specialty of this is mainly, so we have a very diverse talent here. So the experts and the government, and this is from 16 plus countries. The speakers are from 16 plus countries, and the youth is also from 30 plus countries. So that is a, a huge diversity that we are talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And like from my personal experiences, from my personal experience in this forum, like I learned a lot of wow facts here, like being in the tribes, getting the chance to interact with them, and going to the breakout rooms, listen to these amazing speeches done by people from different countries. It gave me actually an opportunity to get to know about so many wow facts that were not told in the social media, maybe in the media, that are not often talked. For an example, like I can like recall some examples. In China, like in hospitals, the food are delivered by the robots. And another thing is this facial recognition camera, CCTV. So they are used to check the temperature of people. And also another thing is drones. Drones are used to enforce lockdowns and quarantine. So like this, like so many wow facts. Another interesting thing that which comes to my mind right now at the moment is this national identity card, the use of national identity card. Let's say that you are buying a mobile phone, maybe that you are using any app, whatever the thing that you do, everything that you do leave a what you call data trail linked back to your ID, which is a very brilliant way to connect data. So these are, I mean, so interesting wow facts that I gathered in the forum.
Exactly. So when you are telling this thing as a also came to my mind. So in China,
Yeah.
they have actually assigned a color QR code for every person. So that like that is depending on the risks they pose. So like, for example, green for the no risk, and the orange for whenever they are entering into a virus risk area, and red is whenever they are positive. So that is to be much more contagious. So yeah.
Yeah, so while you're saying this one thing came to my mind. I really want to mention. This is something really creative. This happens in Singapore. So they are using, like, the Education Ministry of Singapore using this. They've launched a new app, and this new app is to educate the students on good case practices, like washing their hands and wipe down their belongings, wipe down the area, like that. So I think this is a creative way to psychologically approach a child to follow these good things. I mean, these are wow facts that I got to know, especially because of this forum, not from any other social media. I find it very amusing, like interesting here.
Yeah, exactly. So indeed, this is like lots of insight that we have gathered from a pool of experts as well as the youth from different countries. So I don't think like this has to be end here. So you know what, like as the output of this forum, we will be we gather all these insights and we consolidate them and we make a report. So then we present it to the government, and as not just that, and we will be making this available online, so anyone to refer if they're interested.
Yeah, and adding on to it, I think this report can be used by the industries, like for them to, in a way, for them to go with accurate forecasting, or maybe by the business, like for the businesses to decision making processes, in a way that this report can be used. And also for the further researchers and studies also, like I think this will be helpful, which is done by this the contribution of all of you.
Yes. So actually, like I think the crowd here, like the delegates here, are kind of like really special. You know why I'm telling that? Because they're actually interested in knowing about these the world context, and like the context of different worlds, and they are really curious to learn about the other, like what's happening in other countries. So they possess this the world citizen characteristics, and they are like, we should actually appreciate you guys, like for being here with us for 2 days, and you're committing your valuable time on this. So I think you are like really special, and you already have this mindset to drive a change as well. So it's a huge appreciation that I'm passing to you.
Yeah, so while you're saying that, I remember this thing which happened inside one of the tribe groups. So this delegate is from Sri Lanka. This actually caught my attention. I really want to mention. So she left it in the chat saying, back then in 2019, when I first got to know about this virus, like how dangerous it is and how contagious it is, I tried my level best to educate the people about this seriousness of this virus, but then no one listened. Okay, and then she says, soon I saw the registrations open for this global youth forum. What came to my mind is, okay, here I can find like-minded people to connect and share, and which will be very valuable for me. So I mean, like, looking at these examples, like these examples tell that how unique you all are. Like, I'm talking to all of you, each and every one of you who are in this forum today are quite special, because you guys used to stand out from the crowd. Like, you reject to being oblivious for the things that are happening around the world. You choose to be inquisitive and actually find solutions to this thing, to discuss and find what is actually happening around the world. I think we really appreciate that in you. So what we want to tell, after this forum, when you go back after, like when you go back after today, after this forum, after talking, after getting to know everything, what we want to tell you is, like, take the take the good inputs that we took here as a call to action. Be the change agents, like the people who are bringing the change into the world, and like drive the change. Like, take everything that you learned here and teach the people, like spread the awareness. And also, especially, I think in this forum we all learned how to look at something in a different perspective, like to look at the glass half full rather than half empty. So I think you can spread this positivity and bring the change to the world. Dilushini?
Yes, and adding to that, so we also want you to be a responsible listener as well as a responsible communicator as well, and to be much more conscious about and cautious about on how you react, because especially in a situation like this where lots of negative news are coming and to be being heard. So in this such a situation, we want you to be as a responsible youth, young individuals. We want you to be much more responsible, listener and communicators. And we also want you to drive more discussion and make more people aware about this current situation, and also to build a positive mindset to combat the virus spread here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for summing up the whole session. It was brilliant, to the point. And so I want all of you to type in IAS on the chat box. You type it in first, then I'll tell you what does it mean. IAS. Type in IAS. It simply means I am special. That's what Dilshari was mentioning. So you are special, and your being here, your contribution has definitely set the stage to make that change. You dare to make the change, make a change, and you are here to do that. Brilliant. So moving on to the next segment. Remember, Ananya was mentioning to be future-ready leader, right? How many of you want to be a future-ready leader? Show of hands, if I can see. Yeah, future-ready. Great. So the next, another lovely lady. So she's the head of marketing and operations at Mind Valley. How many of you know about Mind Valley? If you know about Mind Valley, type in I on your chat box. I on your chat box. Brilliant. So a lot of us, we know about Mind Valley, and then she has been contributing. She has been a member of AIESEC earlier as well. So let's listen to her, where she's going to tell us how to be future ready when it comes to leadership. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big whoosh to Monica Van Wijen. Okay, hold on, let me try again. Monica Van Wijenberg. Okay, great. So lady, 1, 2, 3. Oh, whoosh. Over to you, Zoom Master.
Hi everyone, this is Monique, Head of Marketing Operations at Mind Valley, Kuala Lumpur, and I have a message to share today for YouthQuake 2021, hosted by AIESEC in Sri Lanka. So the first I want to describe is a bit what is the state the world is in, right? Everyone knows this, the world is chaos right now with this pandemic. However, not everyone reflects on the fact that pandemics, historically speaking, took decades. And in the last decades, like what we are used to, things are moving extremely fast. However, that was never the case. Pandemics took decades to solve, and now we are solving it even as fast as possible, but it's still gonna take some time. We are already much faster than we historically ever were. But this pandemic is giving us a break. It's giving us a time to reflect on what we were actually doing, what direction we were going, what direction countries were going, what direction globally we were going. It gives time, and it requires us to have patience. And I think that is something that a lot of people do not really think about. They want to solve things fast because we're used to solving things with a button. You press it on or off, but that's not how this works. And that's why, in my experience as well, it's a very great time for introspection and looking at yourself. As you all know, when you go by airplane, and ironically, the whole sentence with the oxygen is put on your own oxygen mask first. And that is what we're all asked to do right now, is looking at yourself first. Because how would you be able to help any of your relatives, any of your society. If you yourself, you're not in a right energy, you're not in a right state, you're actually sick yourself. You give to others what you are yourself. And therefore, this is a great time to reflect upon what you're really doing with your life. Are you happy with the work you're doing? Are you happy with what you're studying? Are you happy with your friends and your connections? Are you happy with your spiritual life, your health? Are you happy with every element of your life? And are you able to support others into their every element of life? If that is not the case, then that is something for you to reflect on. Because if you are strong in your own health and you know how to keep yourself, your body healthy, then you can help others as well. If you're not aware, then you cannot help anyone. So I would definitely say that, specifically coming from Mind Valley, we really focus on the fact that if you yourself are fulfilled and happy and conscious and in a great state, only then you're going to be able to give to other people. You cannot give from an empty cup. And no matter how hard it is, that is still a thing to remember. No matter how hard it is in family situations, in country situations, think of yourself and your own family first, before you give to others, because you give to others what you are yourself. So that is a message I want to leave you all with for today. And as well, you're gonna learn a lot of three things through YouthQuake, and it's a very perfect time for you to really go home and apply one small thing, help one community, reach out to one person, to together feel more positive, more strong, and able to tackle this pandemic and come out stronger and more united than we ever were. Thank you so much for attending.
So how was that? Give me a response on the chat box. If I ask you to define in one word, how was that? Good, great, awesome, awesome-y, okay, nice, amazing, brilliant, inspiring, brilliant, superb. Something was very common with the previous two speakers. What was that? Anybody noticed that? She also mentioned something which the other two speakers mentioned. Fatima, you're saying something, is it? No, he's not. It's an opportunity, yes. Something she has mentioned, which other two, yeah, opportunity, of course, she mentioned. But the theme was previous two speakers, it was common. What was that? Mental health, yes. The mindfulness or the mental fitness, right? That's what she talked about. Brilliant. So with that, let's move on to the, okay, by the way, give her a round of applause before we move on. Bring a virtual round of applause. And then let's listen to the last keynote of the evening. Now, this gentleman believes, once he said that, but now he's from one of the multinational companies, and that's also a billion-dollar company. Now he's the head of supply chain of the company, right? So he always says that your career development will happen automatically. He once said that. And he has 20 years of experience in supply chain. And these days, at the moment, especially the present situation, companies are not a profession. Now, this gentleman has 20 years of experience in supply chain Nestle. So, ladies and gentlemen, Satyendra Panchandra Charan. Okay, so please give a huge round of, give a huge whoosh to Sati. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa, whoosh.
I'm very happy to be part of AIESEC forum today. In today's small session I have with you, I'll be covering about COVID impact on supply chains and how did we overcome. When the COVID hit us last year in March, the external environment was very challenging. It was highly volatile, a lot of uncertainties, and it was quite complex. Now, if I explain you, there were quite a lot of challenges in moving the materials. There were port congestions. If you are depending on global supply chain, there were lockdown in certain markets, so you couldn't bring the materials down. Even there were local lockdowns where you couldn't move the materials. Your operations slow down because you need challenges in getting the people in for your operation. And we also had challenges in terms of transportation locally. Not only we had challenges in moving the materials, we saw certain product demand went up drastically, whereas certain other product demand went down drastically. Why this happened? During the COVID time, consumer behavior changed drastically. I can give you certain examples. Look at the lipstick sale. Globally, quite a lot of countries experienced drastic drop in sales for lipsticks. Why? Because people, the ladies mostly were staying at home and they were wearing masks, so even when they are going out, so the requirement for the lipstick really came down. Another big example we always talk about, it was in the newspaper, is the toilet paper. In Western countries and in the US, toilet paper went out of stocks in supermarket. Why this happened? Because people were mostly staying at home, so the requirement for the toilet papers used in home went up. So why this happened? When you go to a supermarket and when you buy lipstick or toilet paper, you think that is the supply chain for those products. But there is a big upstream operation behind the supermarket which is working to supply that product to the supermarket. You have manufacturer, you have distribution centers, you have warehouses, and there are suppliers who are supplying to the manufacturer. So the capacities required to produce these products are decided basis demand plan. The contracts are done with the suppliers basis demand plan. So when the demand plans drastically change, all these back-end operations will have a big impact. How did we overcome the challenges? Our main focus was ensuring safety of our people across value chain. We want to ensure each and everybody follows the golden rule, social distancing, washing the hands and wearing the mask. All these basic steps are really enforced, and ensuring people safety was given the first priority. Also, we know that some people might have personal challenges, so we were very empathetic towards our team members. We were really listening to their challenges, and we were really supporting them. Now let's move on to how did we overcome these challenges. I'll be talking about 3 areas. First, pre-COVID, supply chain generally was focusing on accuracy. Accuracy on the demand plan, accuracy in the production, accuracy in the dispatch, and so on. But during the COVID, we saw across value chain quite a lot of variations. And so the focus changed from accuracy to agility. Accuracy was replaced with agility. The supply chain was focusing more on how can we fast respond to changes across value chain. There were a lot of companies putting effort into cutting down the lead times. They were looking at local sourcing so that the sourcing lead time can be cut down. In the past, we always assume future is equal to past, but during the COVID situation, we realized that future is completely can be different from the past. So we have to really look into all the deep signals that are coming up and then proactively predict what might come ahead. Sometimes you might hear that certain COVID cases are going up in certain areas. It's going up exponentially. So you should foresee in 3 to 4 weeks' time what type of situation can happen in that area and what type of proactive action you need to do to ensure material movement. The second big area is the digitalization. Earlier also, most of the companies were focusing on digitalization, but post-COVID, it got accelerated. There was a need to monitor the entire supply chain and to have a sort of a control tower approach. You cannot manage the supply chain in silos in an environment where things are changing drastically. Sometimes your particular material supplier was struggling to supply a particular materials, but you also see there are demand changes in your demand side. Now you have to quickly assess and see which product demand has gone up and which has come down, and what you should order from your supplier so that with the limited capacity the supplier has because of certain challenges, what product materials you need to prioritize and take in. So the control tower approach was really facilitated by digitalization. Full end-to-end visibility and all the supply chain experts sitting together and looking at the end-to-end and taking decision was one of the crucial things in my view to face the challenges that we were facing from the external environment. The third big area that we were focusing was basically challenging all the assumption. During the COVID time, we understood that just improving the way we were working will not really help. We have to really think of whether we are doing the right thing. We are really challenging certain assumptions. We decided to build up inventories in certain points. We carefully assess and decided certain changes in our distribution system. By doing these strategic changes, we were able to overcome the challenges. I hope I have given you a different perspective for your discussion. Thank you very much for inviting me, and I wish you all good luck. All the best.
Great. Wasn't that informative? I'm sure what he has shared has definitely helped us to, and that has definitely helped us to take ourselves to the next level. Gifts for you waiting, right? So don't go away. Okay, so by the way, can you hear me? Can you see me? Am I lagging or you can see me clearly?
You were lagging a bit.
Now?
Now it's clear.
Better.
Okay. Great. So, Satish Shevage to quickly let us know. Okay, he has an announcement for us. Hello. Hello. Yeah, Sisita, over to you.
Okay, so it's time. I hope I'm audible. Yeah, so it's time to announce the winners of the delegates who have been engaged.
Sorry. Okay, yeah, Sister, you go ahead. Then we'll go to the next section. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So
Okay, I have the names of the winners, the best delegates of Youth Forum 2021. So if I announce, the second runner-up is Nufika from Tribe 30, Indonesia. Yes. Yes. Okay, I hope I'm clear, right? Okay. So yes, give a good round of applause for her. And then first runner-up is Akila Ranul from Tribe 39, Sri Lanka. And yes, the winner, as you can see, Song Hong Q from Tribe 33 from Germany. So give a good round of applause for them. And okay, now I'll announce the winners of the Tribe Challenge. I mean, this is very the most important thing, like people who contributed most for the global report that we are creating, and your sharings will always be valuable from the global audience in the future. So once we release the report. So the tribe, the second runner-up is Tribe 6. So for people from Tribe 6, congratulations. And then first runner-up is for Tribe 36. So congratulations for you all too. And then the winner, as you can see, it's Tribe 13. So big congratulations and applause for you. Thank you. Okay, sure, over to you.
Great. Congratulations to, yeah. Thank you, Mr. President, for the announcement. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, now I have the privilege. By the way, before we go forward, let's give a huge round of applause to all the winners. Give a huge round of applause. Great. In fact, all of we here in this call make all of you the winner for yesterday and today, right? But thank you very much for your. Let me hand over the session to this lovely gentleman. Yesterday, I told you there were two gentlemen who was the mastermind behind YouthQuake. So yesterday, we introduced the president, Sita Hewagi, right? So today, I get the privilege to introduce, has been with AIESEC for 4 years, and he's the National Director of Global Internship, and he's the President AIESEC Bangladesh 21-22. Make me feel very proud of that. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause and welcome Arfan Nazar for his presentation. Arfan, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Shuo. And I hope all of you can hear me. I have quite the setup established here to make sure that just for this few minutes I have with you, I wanted to make sure that it was the best. Before we start, I want to just congratulate and thank each and every one of you. From the very beginning, you were a part of this and you went through those conversations and you took a great part in understanding what it means to be a global citizen and what it means to understand COVID-19 at a time when we all look at it as a crisis. But the chat that I'm going to have with you is all about understanding this as a means to an opportunity and understanding of what daring to make a change actually is. Now, when you look at daring to make a change, I think from yesterday itself, you guys went through a roller coaster of a learning experience. You saw how different countries adapted in the face of COVID-19, how different countries exhibited their ability to conquer towards COVID-19. And what the values I want to reinforce is actually these are things that the speakers before me have talked about. And it's about no change is small or big, but it's all about initiation. It's all about starting that. And what I want you to do is after this, when you go back to your countries, to your communities, to your universities, to your friend groups, make sure that you have that authority and you have that initiation to begin something, to start change. Because history has always taught us one thing, which was that every person who dreamt towards making that small change, every person that has dreamt towards making a significant impact is the person, or is the kind of leader that has created a movement, which is very important. And the other thing that I want you guys to really take back from this is that when to go to where you need to go together. You need to go with the people around you. And I think YouthQuake has given you that opportunity to build a very strong network with different people from all over the world. And you have gotten the opportunity to experience something that not every young person in the world is fortunate to experience. So make sure that while you're here, while you're building these connections, while you're having those discussions in your tribes, that you're taking this back into the world that you're going to enter at some point. You're taking this network, because it's very important to learn from other people. I heard this great quote once, which said, to understand the world, you must first of all know what's happening in the world. And to know what's happening in the world, you must open up yourself to that learning. And that is the most important thing. I consider myself as someone who's constantly learning about the world, who's trying to explore the world. And at that same time, that when you have that multicultural understanding, when you have that understanding of how diversity takes place, when you have that understanding of how different countries operate, how people think, that is when you foster an inclusive environment. And that is when you can become much more empathetic. And that is when the learnings that you have taken across this day can be reflected in what you want to do in the future. So I see a lot of you guys engaging here. As young people, it's very nice to see people talk and see people share and see people play these games and see people take part in these challenges. That is what we need as young people, to build that persistent mindset. Because as Ruindu said in the beginning of the day, the world needs people with exponential thinking, not people who have linear thinking. And you build on your exponential thinking, you build on that kind of a disruptive thinking pattern when you are able to eliminate the things that hold you back. For example, stereotyping, culture. When you are able to bridge those gaps and when you're able to connect the dots, that's when you actually are able to push yourself to that place. And hence you connect the dots, and hence you are daring to make a change. So remember this, key takeaways from this is just change starts with anything. It doesn't matter if it's big or small, it's just the initiation that matters. So when you go back to your communities, make sure you're taking that, you're taking a lot of action, and you're doing that with a lot of intention. I think the best example is this conversation that me and Sisita had 2 months ago about how we wanted to do this. And now today, it's such a nice thing to see that dream turn into a reality. So that's how you foster change. And the other thing is learn and network with the people that you have, because those connections pivot you, push you to the place that you want to go to. And finally, build, eliminate the stereotypes, eliminate the barriers that are holding you back, break through those limitations, and be a global citizen. Be a person who can develop a global acumen and global understanding on things. So that would be my message to you guys. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I want to keep it very short and simple, to remember that these are the values that you have to reinforce yourselves. And this learning that you're going through right now, make sure you're taking it forward, and you're inspiring people in your way of becoming leaders one day, in your way of becoming change agents in the society one day. So make sure you're fostering that and you're taking that forward. And at the same time, as I said, to know the world, you have to understand it. And to understand it, you have to open yourselves up to learning. So yes, thank you very much. And over to you, Shuo.
Thank you, Arfan. Thank you so much. So as a gift to you, let me announce something. I have already contacted somebody in Bangladesh. I know you're heading Bangladesh. And I'm going to introduce you to that gentleman. Now, he's the gentleman who started another movement. There are 2 movements he has started. So I'm going to introduce to him. He's a very capable guy. So this is my promise to you, because we can talk about it. We can talk about it so many times in so many forums. So many YouthQuake we can do. But after inspired to take action, are we having that thought of taking action? Are we having that emotion of taking action? So if we combine all of them together, then you will see the reality. So my promise to you, I'm definitely going to introduce you to that. His name is Habib, right? So I'm definitely, right after the call, I'm going to introduce, after the session finishes, I'm going to do that. That would be my first step. So my question to you in the audience, my friends, what action you gonna take to take this forward? What do you dare to make a change? It's not about listening and attending. What action you're gonna take, that's what's gonna make a difference. So right now, with that message, let me invite our partner for Gifts, Dojo Co, right? The CEO of Dojo Co. His name is Gaurav Verma, to give away the gifts for the winners. Gaurav, over to you.
Thank you, Shivo. Thank you, Afan. I hope I'm pronouncing your names right.
Yeah,
pleasure
perfect.
to meet all of you. Happy to see so many people in an active webinar. Yeah, so I'm an entrepreneur. We've got a startup called DojoCo, and as a prize, what we're happy to do is a masterclass session. If any of you are into entrepreneurship, want to know how to bootstrap your startups, want to understand about financing, Series A, pre-seed, seed, or what we call in MBA terminology, how to get money off the FFF, which is friends, families, and fools. We can teach you about that. We'll get our CTO involved who can help you if you're interested in technology. We'll get our product head to give you a class that'll help you. He's designed games for PS2, PS3, Xbox, Wii. So he can give you some tips on how to develop product. And we could also get one of our advisors involved to give you tips on PR marketing. So if you're studying any of those things or you're interested in a career in that, we're happy to organize a masterclass session and walk you through it. And hopefully maybe even personalize if you guys have startups. You're on mute, Arfan. I think you're talking.
Great. So there you go. Thank you, Gaurav, for your love. For others, not forgetting the other two sponsors, DBS, yes, and yes, SDB Bank and Articulate, our media sponsor. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gaurav, for your contribution. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of the session, almost there. And so before I finish, before I go ahead and introduce a lovely lady, right? So before that, I just want to share with you that this has been an honor for me to serve you yesterday and today. So, okay, let me ask you one thing. Are you okay? The yesterday and today, the session that we have, the end of the session, right? End of the session. Do you think that you are a better version of yourself? If you think you are, typing I on your chat box. I on your chat box. Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. So we're not gonna do that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna share a link, a day 2 link. If somebody can share it on the chat box, please. Day 2 link. We want your feedback about the session, and I'm going to take two sharing. Who would like to share before I hand over the session to the next speaker? Who would like to share?
Shivo, if I might, sorry to interrupt.
Yes, sure.
Since we're with students and our startup is about empowering students around the world, I was wondering if we could share what DojoCo is about with them over 3 to 4 minutes, sort of to let them know about DojoCo and how they can connect with students like them around the world.
Sishita, can you do that?
Yeah, yes, in a very short time, yes.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
sure.
Great. Thank you very
I had
much.
to ask the president, man.
No worries. I wasn't sure when is the right time to present. So Shishita,
Okay,
may I share my screen and give me 5? I know you've given me 5 minutes. I'll try to hurry it up. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So listen, you're all students. DojoCo is all about empowering students. Let me see if I can get rid of this somewhere. Okay, there you go. So what are we? We are an AI-powered platform that understands the students' needs using technology and artificial intelligence, so we can help you connect, collaborate, and communicate with like-minded students around the world. You know, there was a big talk by Arfan about networking. Can't stress it enough. Your network is your net worth. Doesn't matter 2-3 years after you get your degree, all that's going to matter is your network, because that's going to take you through life. And that's what we aspire to do, is not only just help you build a network, but also help you find the right solutions you're looking for, because education and early career is a journey, right? So the way we're building it is we keep the student at the heart of DojoCo. You can network and collaborate with like-minded people. Around it is multiple micro modules. We have a wizard, a CV builder. You could do personality, career assessments. We match you because we understand the student, we understand you. We match you to digital learning, university opportunities, match you to housing opportunities. We have over 1.3 million listings. It's a module we're going to launch in about 30 days. We're creating a peer-to-peer advisor marketplace. Believe it or not, there are younger students out there that want to learn from your experiences, that want to go to universities like you, that want to study what you're studying, and they want your guidance. So you could do it for free out of the kindness of your heart, but we are creating a marketplace where you could list your profile and people could connect with you. Again, these are future upcoming modules. And then eventually we're launching a recruitment module that focuses on internships and job opportunities. Now, just to show you how that all works, oh, I was just connecting with Shrivel. So this is our platform. As you sign up, you go through a very short 4-step process to sort of, for the system to understand what is it that you're studying, what is it that you're interested in, where are you studying it, etc. How do I get rid of this? Hide. There you go. And then as you give us this information, we sort of understand what is it that you're interested in, and we help you connect with like-minded people. So you could check the global network, or you could come to common interests. So for example, in my common interests, I've got Avatar. This is what we have in common. So we're both interested in education. We both live in Amsterdam, New York. We study Python. We are interested in leadership, public speaking, and hey, we also we play golf. So this is a great way to break the ice and connect with like-minded people. I have no idea who Kiara is, but we seem to have something in common. So this is a great way to meet like-minded students around the world. And then once you come from that, there's a CV builder. If you click on it, you give us your personal info, education, work experience, etc. And as you do that, we create a CV side by side for you. Right now, it's just one free template. Within about 60 days, you're going to have about 30, 40 different templates where AI will take over and guide you on what are the keywords you should use for the kind of job or career that you're looking for. And you can just download the CV. And as you can see, it comes in a nice PDF format, or it can be converted to Word. Now, the way we want to encourage students is to collaborate with each other. You've got content like social media platforms have, where you could do polls, videos, audios, photos, etc. But you could also create groups. And within groups, we've taken a functionality from Slack, where within the group, you can actually create, so these are my groups. I can go to business development, and you can create channels. Now, within the channels, you have large groups. You got 67 people on this call. What do you have in common with them? You don't know that. You're just going to connect with a few people through LinkedIn. You're going to figure out whom you connect with. But in a large group, you could actually see, okay, who are the members of this group interested in business development? What do I have in common with them? So I don't know who Elmara is, but oops, but for some reason, she's coming up with common interests with me. And so that way you can actually find what you have in common with them. Now, what we've done is we've created channels. So within business development, or let's say this group call, there are some students studying business, some students studying academics, some students studying, I don't know, data science. And so you can create channels within that. So for example, I could go to success stories, and within the channel, you can start chatting with each other. So this is a live chat like you would do on WhatsApp, except this channel is specific to the interest or the academic or career interest you have. So it's more engaging conversation, except John Bohr, who loves to party a lot, as you can see from his GIF here. Now, this is what we have currently, and we've got students from across, I think, 38 or 40 countries on the platform as we speak. Okay, somebody's messaging me. But what we are going towards is building a complete ecosystem like I showed you. So I've got another 1.5 minutes, so I'll just quickly wrap up. So we're matching, so this is Bella. Bella's interested in design. We match her to digital learning opportunities. We show her a journey of what are all the touch points that she should take to lead to a successful career. These are digital learning opportunities. We match you through our multiple digital learning providers around the world. Match you to university programs and opportunities. We match you to mentors. And as you see a mentor, you could see their profile, decide whether you want to connect with them, what's their 5-star rating, see their rate card, book a session. And as you book a session, everything actually happens within the platform. So you just join a session within the platform. You don't need to exit a Zoom or anything else. Everything is recorded, transcribed, and saved in your My Documents folder. And then finally, I mean, this is just a thing. So what we are looking to build is a complete ecosystem, a super version of LinkedIn dedicated to students and young professionals, because LinkedIn only caters to mid to late career professionals. So I encourage you, join the platform, meet people from around the world identified by your common academic career interests, create groups, engage with one another. And as we release new modules, we'll be able to help you not only find the right path to what you're looking towards, but also perhaps help a younger student and make a bit of an income. So thanks for your time. I appreciate you giving me the chance to introduce DojaCo. I look forward to seeing you guys create your profile. It hardly takes a minute or two on the platform. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Okay, so, okay, great. So, Gaurav, thank you so much for taking time and presenting that regarding DojaCo. So I'm sure you will find your way. Is there any way they can contact you or something, or you can put it in the chat box, and they will be able to get in touch? And
yeah, sure.
Or something. Okay, talking about, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying, yeah, sure. You can just go to dojaco.com, DOJOKO.com,
So
and we. Can you hear me? Okay. You could go. I'll type it in the chat box.
Yes,
dojaco.com. Okay. We also have a global internship program that Z, we just call him Z, that leads. If you're interested, you could send an email on careers@dojaco.com, and if you're interested in internship with us, we'll hook you up. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the very end of the session. And so before I introduce the lady, thank you very much for having me for yesterday's and today's. And I believe I become a better version of myself by spending both the days with both of you, but with all of you, not both of you. We had 200 plus participants attending this, and it was a privilege to serve AIESEC Sri Lanka and AIESEC International as a whole, and being a part of this exciting journey of YouthQuake to 2021. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let me hand over the session to this lovely lady. Now, so far, yesterday, today, did you feel whatever is happening at the back end, it ran so smoothly? So she's the project chair, the project chair for YouthQuake to 2021, and a very meticulous person. I had an opportunity to work with this lovely lady for last 3 days, and I must say, one word to describe her: she's brilliant. Whatever she's, she's been with AIESEC for 4 years for Sri Lanka. Ladies and gentlemen, for this one, for the last time, I want you to say a huge round of applause and say, whoosh. Over to you, Kabesha.
Thank you, Shiva, for that very lovely introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Kamsa Samaranaika, the project head for YouthQuake 21. Here we are coming to an end after a very successful couple of days with YouthQuake. I remember how we dreamed about doing a youth forum in a way that nobody has ever done. We believe impact can be done in many ways, and it's not a one-night thing. So here we are delivering an amazing forum, gathering youth from all over the world. I'd like to extend my gratitude to the following amazing people who are the life and soul of YouthQuake 2021. First, to all honorable keynote and guest speakers who put their most valuable time and energy into this and sharing information and knowledge with us. Further, I'd like to extend my thanks to all our partners: SDB Bank, the title partner; Articulate, the media partner; DojaCo, the gift partner for uplifting delegate experience. And how should I not forget our member committee president, Sister Gayara, who has helped us throughout; Arfan Nazar, the event manager of YouthQuake; guiding us and giving the best support. Everyone else who has helped us from the member committee of Vice of Sri Lanka, then the amazing organizing committee who gave their best day in and day out, the national showcasing team for their constant support, and of course our wonderful moderator, Mr. Shuo. And last but definitely not least, let me thank all the delegates who participated in YouthQuake and who dared to make a change. I really hope all of you were able to achieve your objective of coming to the forum. It was your active participation that made YouthQuake impactful throughout these 2 days. There's a popular saying, you really can change the world if you care enough. Here we are, the youth, believing that in the hashtag dare to make a change. With this, I would like to take my leave, wishing everyone a good night. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Have a good evening.